What's going on, guys? Joe Cruz here, and I'm back with another PC build. Same thing with my last video, we will be selling this PC for profit. If you guys haven't seen my last video, pretty much what I do is hunt for PC components on the cheap, put it together, and try to make a profit off of it. Alright, so in today's build, we have an i5 6600K paired with an MSI Z178 motherboard, an Alloy 16GB RAM clocked at 2400 MHz, and an MSI R9 with 8GB of VRAM. Originally, this build was supposed to have a different memory. I swapped the memory with the memory I used for my last video because it wasn't compatible with the other motherboard. Either way, it should not affect our pricing since both of them have the same specs. So I purchased these components from this guy through Facebook Marketplace for $180. He was mainly selling his CPU, motherboard, and memory as a bundle for $200. He also included in his descriptions that he has a GPU that wasn't recognized by his motherboard for $35. I asked him if he can sell the whole bundle for $180 and he agreed. He told me that the GPU started giving him issues after he used DDU. For those of you who aren't familiar with DDU, DDU means Display Driver Uninstaller. It is a program used to completely uninstall a graphics driver, especially if it's causing an issue or when switching from NVIDIA to AMD or vice versa. So knowing that DDU is just a software, I know that it shouldn't stop the hardware from working. Once I got all the parts, I tested all of it right away and they all posted. But I noticed one thing, the GPU fans were actually spinning at their max speed the whole time, even though I was just on the BIOS screen. I wanted to make sure that the fans would slow down once the graphics driver was installed, and it didn't. So I disassembled the GPU just to make sure that the fan connectors were seated properly, and I noticed that a solder was actually missing from one of the cables attached to the fans. I looked up the cabling diagram of the GPU, and what do you know? It was actually the fan controller cable that wasn't soldered correctly. I took out my soldering iron and soldered it, tested the GPU again, and it worked perfectly. So I spent a total of $180 for an i5 6600, an MSI Z170 motherboard, 16GB of RAM, and an MSI R9 390. Now I need a power supply, storage, and a case to complete this build. For the power supply, I have an EVGA 600 watts, 80 plus certified power supply. I got this from EVGA's Midweek Madness and it was $25. As for the storage, I have an ADATA SU635 240GB SSD. It was on sale at the time of purchase on Amazon for $25. I also have a 500GB Seagate hard drive that I purchased off eBay for $14. So a total of $39 for 240GB SSD with 500 gig of mechanical drive. As for the case, I have a Roswell Prism S that I was able to get from a local auction for $25 with a total of $269 for everything that I spent on this build. Let's go ahead and put it together. Alright, so last night while I was building this PC, I found out that the case fan's RGB lighting actually won't work. And that is probably why it was returned and came up in an auction nearby. So I ordered this last night and it came in today. I tried installing it and for some reason the RGB lighting still won't work. At the same time, last night I saw a guy posted on Facebook that he is looking for a rig for his girlfriend, and I asked him if he would be interested in buying this one that I'm building right now. He said he is. This build would have been done by now if this one actually worked. So I messaged him and just asked him if he would be fine if I just install this one right here, since this is an extra one that I have, and he said it's okay. So instead of having 4 fans, I'm gonna have 3 fans installed. Alright, so this is actually our completed build. I think it looks pretty good. I know it would have been better if there's actually more fans in there, but I talked to the buyer and he said that he's just gonna take care of those fans himself. So I had to spend an extra $20 for me to get these fans. That brings up our total to be $290. That's still pretty good considering that I'm selling this for $450. All right, so time to pack it up so I can deliver it to the buyer. I'll see you guys in a bit. So I delivered the rig to the buyer last night and he actually paid me $460 since I delivered it to him. Yep. Drove right away.
That's $460, so you made an extra $10.
Honestly, I wasn't actually expecting to sell the unit for more than $400, but he really just wanted a PC for his girlfriend. Lucky girl. Anyway, since I sold this for $460, that means I actually made $170 in this build. And so far, that has been the most money I made in rebuilding and reselling PCs. And that's it for this video, guys. I got more videos coming up. Make sure you're subscribed. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.